Hello, everybody. Buddy with Midland, Texas. I first reported my first burglary in November 2010, and then a couple of months later, reported my second burglary to the police. At that time, I heard somebody in the attic. The police called me crazy, never investigated. Now I know what's going on all over Midland, Odessa, and the nation. These people in the attic crimes. Well, one of the many things that I did to try to prove to the police before I realized that the police were involved in covering up the crimes was install burglar alarms in my attic. And here's a video where in 2015 where my friend Jordan was here and the burglar alarms went off while he was here. Let me put this in motion. I'll show you.
Again, second time today.
Twice it went off that day.
Okay, we got a burglar alarm going off. I can't see it. There it is right there. Okay.
Look at that. Look.
And what I was showing was the little motion detectors I had, they flashed so that you could see it on the screen, plus you could hear it. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, look at there, because it's flashing. So a burglar in the attic set that off while we were both here.
Look at that insulation
Over
falling.
here.
You see all that insulation falling?
And then we're pointing out the insulation falling in the attic from the ceiling, and that's what led me to believe that there's a false ceiling built here where they sleep, a set hide, and all that stuff. And I think probably all these other homes that are rigged just like it. But it was that a very big clue was that insulation falling from the ceiling on a windless day.
That was the second time in 1 minute.
Okay.
Okay, so we're just moving on because really what this is about is that the police stole the evidence, okay, that I told them about, which was burglar alarms going off when I was shot. I also want to bring up the previous homeowner. He died right before I got here, Mike Lawhon, and I got this message right here, and from his friend says, so I talked to a friend of Mike that was really good friends with Mike, the guy that lived in the house before you did, okay? He said Mike would always talk about how he felt like people were in his house, how he knew people were in his house. This guy was reporting people breaking in his house before he died, and that was before I bought this house. Is that spooky? Well, you think that's spooky? I've got something even spookier, okay? This is called a first responders records request. I sent it into the city of Midland. There's a website. I said, please send me records for all calls to my house at 3802 Fair Circle before I transferred into town around November 1st, 2008. Mike had died the month earlier. I'm very interested in any records for the previous homeowner, Mike Lawhon. This 27-year-old father died a few weeks before I bought this home, and I've suspected that he was murdered by the same people that shot me. The city of Midland Police Department denied my request for to show me the police reports for my own home, okay, and where I was shot. And then so I appealed it to Texas Attorney General Greg Paxton, and he sided with the city. So now nobody can see the police reports for this home. And like I told him, I believe Mike was killed here. I believe them police reports will prove Mike was killed here, and he was reporting the same crimes as me before I was shot with my phone lines cut. Okay, here, now this is a real fact-filled little meme here. This is what the voice recorder looked like, a little white voice recorder. And at the hospital, the nurse was recording what I was saying, okay? And sirens are going off. The alarms kept going off. That's what I was saying. Burglar alarms I put in my attic were going off before they shot me, okay, with my phone lines cut. In closet, there's a voice recorder recording what was happening, okay? I was talking on a voice recorder in case something happens to me and saying what they're doing in my house. I have proof. Just go look. There's proof, okay? That was at 12:03. Also at 12:03, Detective Rodriguez has patient's necklace and stated she was going to give it to his brother. I'd comment. I wondered if she knew my brother. But what it shows is I told the police that the burglar alarms were going off and it was recorded on a voice recorder. The police stole the voice recorder. Okay, Officer April Chandler says she found it. She actually, her exact words was, Buddy had a .22 rifle in his bedroom by the bed that was taken for safekeeping and logged into MPD as evidence. See it? As a single shot revolver and the voice recorder. Okay, so Chandler stated she found the voice recorder in the closet where I said it was at, and it was checked into evidence. Guess what? That was a lie. April Chandler lied. They stole the voice recorder, and the voice recorder recorded the burglar alarms going off, proving I was shot during a home invasion. Okay, here's what I think happened, and this is more police reports I'm going to show you. There's a sergeant, Matthew Davis, okay, and he checked into evidence, okay, the two .22 guns that Chandler found. Remember, she found the two .22 guns and the voice recorder, said they were checked into evidence. Well, the evidence logs shows that Matt Davis, her boss, checked in the two .22s, but there's no voice recorder. So I suspect that Sergeant Matt Davis stole the voice recorder, which was proof of a home invasion and premeditated murder attempt. I didn't get this evidence log here until several years later. And what I saw, and this is very important, what I saw on the evidence log is that somebody had scribbled out hole, okay? It was item number 4, and it was a hole. Okay, and that was for my gun is what it was, my key ring and my hole. They scribbled it out, and then they hand wrote in voice recorder. I was making a big deal about the police stealing evidence, and they come back in later and scribbled out one piece of evidence and put in voice recorder. And then I want to show you the voice recorder shows April Chandler is the one that checked that in. There it is. And item number 4 here, Matthew Davis, shotgun shells. It actually says shotgun shells. The reason the shotgun shells was important because there was no empty shotgun shell found in my gun by the CSI. Okay, and I made a point of that. That proved I wasn't shot with my gun. That means somebody under my home shot me. So, it's pretty clear that they're tampering with evidence in this premeditated home invasion murder attempt left an innocent crime victim crippled, and I was reporting crimes to the police. It was 7 years after the murder attempt, and I finally got a copy of the police report from the night of the murder attempt. It was extremely important. Okay, so there's the night of the murder attempt, 1/28/12. What was important about it, it time-stamped these officers. Matt Davis was at my home at 11:03, but wasn't seen arriving on the security cameras. Okay, and Tony Dickin, a lieutenant, 2 minutes later, was inside my home, and he wasn't seen arriving on the security cameras. Now remember that Woodward and Naylor were seen arriving on the security cameras. The security cameras were working, and so how did these 5 officers, Davis, Dickey, Chatwell, Angel, and Hale, get in my home without being seen? They came from under my home, the trapdoor entrance the ex-wife told me about that's now removed, and from where I was shot from. Maybe one of these police is the would-be killer under my home that cut my phone lines and shot me. I showed this in my last video, but basically these pry marks on the bathroom door prove that I had trapped a burglar in my bathroom before I was shot, and so the question is, I had tie-wired that door shut. Who let that burglar out? The door was tie-wired shut. And I wonder if it wasn't Matt Davis. He was the first police officer that was time-stamped at my home and wasn't seen arriving on security cameras. And so I wondered if that, he didn't, shoot me and then come in and let the trap burglar out. I found this on LinkedIn for Matt Davis. He was a sergeant, with the police department. And it shows that he quit the Midland Police Department in December 2013, and that was right after the protective order hearing where a lot of information come out, and so I wondered if that's why he quit. And then he went to work for National Oil Varco, and I wondered if they had people at the underground oil show parties, and or maybe they were bribing him to help them cover up the crimes and murders here because of the oil show parties. In November 2019, I got this message from Matthew Davis, on my YouTube channel, and he said, I stole the evidence and nobody will ever find out, buddy. He was bragging about stealing evidence that I told the police about in a capital murder attempt. Now, I want you to look at them 2 pictures. We're going to talk about that next. I saw that. I got that first picture of Matthew Davis from his YouTube channel, but here in 2016 there was a book signing. Governor Greg Abbott, Texas Governor Greg Abbott, and here I am right there at a book signing. Look at this guy. Looks like Matt Davis went to work for the governor. Ain't that interesting? And that was after stealing what I believe stealing evidence in a premeditated murder attempt. And finally, I just want you to know there's lifetime consequences for the victims of violent crimes.